Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna do something a little bit different. So another thing that I really like aside from books is makeup. So I was thinking, like, how can I incorporate these two things that I really love into one? And I decided that it would be a fun idea to do my makeup while I review a book, but not just do my makeup. I wanted to do something that related either to the book or to the cover, or that somehow resembled something about the book. So in today's video, I thought that it would be good to start with this book. Let me get it real quick. And it is All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. My neighbor just started to mow the lawn. So today we're gonna do some makeup inspired by this cover. So it's basically just blue. But this is a book about mermaids and the sea and all of that. So I thought that it would be super fun to incorporate this into a makeup look. If you're interested, then keep on watching. Okay, so I'm gonna start by putting some concealer on my lids to act as a little bit of a primer. So I'm using the Urban Decay Stay Naked concealer, and I'm just gonna blend this out a little bit. Got a little bit on the under eye, but that's okay. Just want something to kind of put the shadows on top. First of all, I don't think I've even given it a rating. I feel like I kind of have my thoughts, but I still haven't decided what I'm gonna rate it. I think if I had to, I would say that I would rate it around a 3.75. It's not a bad book by any means. I really enjoyed it, but there are so many things that I'll get to in a moment that just couldn't push me past, not even a 4-star. So by any means, it's, again, not a bad book, but it's just not what I was expecting. I was expecting so much more. And maybe it's me. Maybe this isn't targeted for me. I mean, I'm almost 30 years old. So maybe, it is a young adult book. So maybe that can kind of, but I don't know. I mean, I think I'm still a child at heart, and I do really enjoy YA. Here comes the neighbor. I do really enjoy YA books, but for some reason, I really wanted to love this book, and I didn't. I liked it, but I just didn't love it, and I thought that I was going to, because it just has everything that I would want in a YA. Like, it was said to be like a little bit dark, and it had pirates and mermaids and a princess and magic, and I was like, oh my god, this is my book. Yes. So I was kind of really disappointed when I didn't really love it. Okay, so where do we even begin? So basically, it's this kingdom, right? And we have our main character, and her name is Amora. And she is going to be the next High Animancer, is what they're called. So she's gonna basically be the queen. But they decided to put a fancy name on it, right? Because we have to be different. Okay, so I had to take a little break because the noise was just too much. Okay, and now it started raining. Thank you very much. I love rain. I don't know if you're like me. What is that called? Like a pluviophile? I freaking love when it rains. But anyway, let's continue with the book. I can't even remember where I left off. But okay, I do remember that we have Amora, which is our main character, and she's gonna become the next queen, which is called a high animancer in the book. And she needs, before she becomes the queen or the high animancer, she needs to prove that she has control over her magic. So her family is the only one that can practice that type of magic. So there's different magics, and each magic has like an island where they live. And her family, like that, the royal family, they're the only ones that can practice soul magic, which is the magic that she has, obviously. And it is supposed to be a very dangerous type of magic, and you need to demonstrate in the ceremony that you are capable of controlling the magic, because it can basically kind of destroy you and consume your soul if you can't. So, you know, she's very nervous, and when the day comes that she needs to prove herself as the high animancer and she goes to do like her test and everything, like everything is going great until she starts kind of doubting herself, and basically the monster of the magic kind of consumes her, and she ends up like doing quite a bit of a massacre to the person that she's executing. Like it was bloody. If you are sensitive to those types of things, then I would go into this book with caution, because even though I read through it fine, I never thought that it was too much, but maybe I'm just desensitized to the world, I don't know. But if you're more sensitive to those types of things, to blood, and they talk about bones and stuff, and you know there are killings, then definitely, you know, go into it with a little bit of caution. I mean, for a lot of people, I've read reviews and they think that it's very like too graphic. I didn't find that, but like I said, I may be super desensitized at this point, so I didn't find it too much. I did find those parts kind of not enjoyable, but you know, they gave it that dark twist that I feel like the book needed. So basically it goes wrong. She loses control of her magic and she is incarcerated. So they're like, oh no, hell no, you're too dangerous and you can't control your magic, so we're gonna put you in jail. And I was like, okay, awesome. So they throw her in jail, and she's like, oh my God, I failed my people. What am I gonna do? And all of a sudden, this little Prince Charming comes in and helps her escape from jail. And when, you know, they get to kind of know each other, like she runs off with a complete stranger. She doesn't know who he is. And he explains to her that he's a pirate. So she's always wanted to travel the world, and like their world, and her father never let her. So she's like, oh my God, a pirate, let's go, let's get on the ship and we'll go exploring. So basically the deal was that he would help her kind of reclaim her status as the queen, the rightful queen. So he would help her kind of redeem herself, and then she would help him get his magic back because he lost it. So she's like, okay, well, that sounds like a fair deal. So they go into all of these adventures. They go and visit a bunch of islands, and they get to know a whole bunch of people. And when they're on their ship, they get a unexpected visitor, and it is her fiance. It sounds so weird because she's like, okay, she went off with a pirate, but she's engaged. So her fiance, it's like one of those arranged marriages, and she doesn't love him. And I kind of hated like her attitude towards him, because he was a really nice guy. From what I saw, he was a really nice guy. And I get it that you didn't want to be in a relationship with him. It was forced on you, but you could at least try to be his friend. It's not his fault. Like, you were arranged to get married. It wasn't like he was like, okay, I'm gonna marry you, and you know, that's that. It was an arranged marriage by their families and the kingdom and all of that. Like, it's not his fault. And she treated him like a piece of doo-doo, like trash, something that got stuck to my shoe. I don't care. A lot of people I've seen in reviews that couldn't connect with her. I'm there with you. I could not connect with her either. Like, okay, she's trying to save her kingdom and all, but you don't have to be so mean, you know? Like, you can still do the badass stuff and not be such a bad friend, you know? So that kind of irritated me. I could not connect with her, and she seemed so annoying. Like, she was so repetitive that I need to prove myself that I'm such a good person and I'm such a good leader. And that got annoying. It honestly did. It got really annoying, because I'm like, okay, we get it. You're on your mission to that. But do you need to constantly repeat that you think that you're a great leader? Like, it's like high praising yourself in that way. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it, and I found her to not be relatable at all. I mean, I don't know if the author meant for her to not be relatable, but I mean, if it's your main character, I feel like we should at least want to understand her in some way. And in some ways I could, but in the majority of the ways I couldn't understand her attitude. And like, everybody was trying to help her, and she was so mean. I don't know, like, her attitude, I didn't like her attitude. Her fiance gets on the boat, and he is a healer, so that's his type of magic. So he can heal himself and others with his magic. So, you know, very convenient to have if you're going out on this super dangerous expedition and trying to, you know, regain the trust of the kingdom and help this pirate with getting his magic back and all of that. In the meantime, they meet, like, they have a lot of adventures. They meet a lot of people, blah, blah, blah. And they meet a mermaid. So her name is Vatea. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And I love her. Like, I wish she was the main character, because I loved her. She was the perfect mix of this badass person, mermaid, that wants to help people, but she's been treated so bad all her life. She's been imprisoned, she's been used, and she still wants to in some way help the world. And she still has like some, I don't know, like, I feel like her attitude was so much better. And even though she wasn't the main character, like, I was rooting for her more than the main character. I don't know. So basically they have to go because they have to go to this island that is like in exile. They were kind of shunned from the rest of the kingdom, and they need to go there because there is this evil little person that kind of started some trouble and wants to kind of take control, and is starting an army and wants to kind of take control of the kingdom and stop like the monarchy and all of that. So yeah, they need to go to this island and kind of defeat this evil character. And by doing this, then they're gonna help save the kingdom and help save Bastien, which is the pirate. I never said his name. Bastien's magic. So they go through a lot of things during their mission through the sea, and they finally arrive there. There are so many things going on, and when they get there, they realize that this person, he's named Caven. Oh my god, I got some eyeshadow on my nose. That this evil person, Caven, is Bastien's brother. And I was shook because I did not expect that. So he's Bastien's brother, and I'm like, What? What do you mean? So they basically, you know, try to confront him. They get into a fight, and then they have to go back to like her island because they realize that they, you know, like this bad person escaped, and they need to go back because they kind of realize like, oh my God, they're going back to my island to, you know, start a war or something. So they get back and they do not make it in time, and the Caven, the bad guy, is already there, and he has already started this war in this poor island. And when they get there, they're like, oh my God, there's so much destruction, you know, people fighting left and right, people getting murdered, and all that stuff happening. Okay, so they get there, and like, you know, everybody's getting off the ship and, you know, going to try to find her family. And basically Caven already has like her father in prison, and he's torturing him and all of that. And he kind of bonds himself to her father so that she can't kill him. It's complicated. It's kind of complicated. And eventually they end up killing her father. They didn't kill her father. Her father commits suicide. And so that basically she doesn't have to suffer, you know, by having to kill him, or, you know, actually have to make that decision of killing him or not, because the bad guy and her father are kind of linked together. So if you do something to this guy, the other guy's going to suffer the consequences. So he kills himself, and then she realizes, because Caven hurts his brother Bastien, and she's suffering the same consequences as him. So she realizes like, oh my God, because she lost her magic. I'm sorry, I forgot to point this out, that when she was at that kind of war thing, she lost her magic. Like, he took her magic away. And she's fighting this guy without any magic. And she realizes that he bound her magic to Bastien. And she's like, oh my God, this can't be happening. Anyway, like, Bastien kills his brother, and, you know, cut to the next scene where they're recovering, everything's good, and, you know, they go to pronounce her the queen, the High Animancer, and that's that. Now that you know a little bit more about the story, I'm going to talk about what I liked and the problems that I had with the book. So, first of all, it was very predictable. And that's why I didn't give it a higher rating. It's because it was so predictable. As I was saying, it became like very predictable very quickly from the beginning. Like I said, I didn't really connect with the main character. I feel like I connected and liked every other character except her. So that was very confusing, and I didn't really enjoy that. It's just, why? Why did you make her like that? When I was reading it, I was entertained, but it wasn't, when I wasn't reading it, I looked at it and I wasn't like, okay, I need to go pick that book up. I don't know. But yeah, the world building was pretty good. That I really liked. And I liked that the magic that they were using, the magic systems, were quite different. It wasn't like, you know, cookie cutter type of magic. It was very different. The type of magic that she used and that the other islands had, it was pretty different enough that I did enjoy that aspect, and I did enjoy the world building and the way that she described the like the settings, like the world and the settings of each type of magic. I think that she really did a fantastic job of describing that. But it's just, for me, the predictability and the fact that I could not connect with the main character were just bugging me to a level that I was really struggling to finish it, because like I said, I did enjoy what I was reading, but those aspects, like, kind of, I wanted to put it down. Another thing that really irritated me, and I don't know if it's because my attention span can kind of be like this small, it's that I got so confused with the names. Please let me know. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's see how this turns out, because I don't know what I'm doing. It got so confusing with the names. Sometimes I was reading and I was like, is this a city? Is this a person? Is this a type of magic? What are you? Okay, another thing that I didn't really like is the fact that they made her so oblivious to everything that was happening. Like, you're about to be the queen and she doesn't know what's happening. So basically, some of the other islands are kind of suffering an exile from the other ones. They're not receiving help from the king, and she doesn't know it. And I'm like, what? Like, I get it that they want to try to hide a lot of things, but everybody knew. Like, she literally admits it, that everybody knew except her. How? Like, that just, I don't know, it irritated me so much when I was reading her, and she said it over and over again, like, I was the only one that didn't know. And I'm like, how did everybody else know and you didn't? I don't know. I just can't really comprehend that. I just can't. Okay, so there's a part right at the end where Bastien activates the Montera curse, I think it is. How? Please explain to me if you know what happened, because I was so lost. When they said, like, oh, he triggered the Montera curse, and I'm like, what? Because I did not understand that one bit. Like, one bit. I don't know. There are some things that to me were just not clear enough, and it left me kind of thinking, is it me? Am I just dumb, or is it really not that clearly explained? I don't know, because I can sometimes be, just look past a couple of things and it's me that didn't realize it, but I don't know. I feel like I read that part quite a few times and I never understood what it was that they meant by he triggered the Montera curse. Like, how did he do it? Because I understood what it was, but I didn't understand how he did it. And then another thing is that our main characters, Amora and Bastien, they start kind of falling for each other because they're spending so much time together. And, they start developing a relationship, and the romance isn't the main focus in the book, which is probably a good thing, but it is present, like, in some bits here and there. And in the end, when she realizes that she is they bound her magic to Bastien, she gets mad because she's so independent that she can't be dependent on a man for, having her magic or something like that. And I'm like, I get that you want to be independent. I get that part. I totally get it. But at the same time, like, he's the person that you like and that you've grown to probably love. And now that you have a reason to stay together, because she kind of explains that she just wants the relationship to be because she wants it, because she wants it and not because she was kind of cursed into it. But at the same time, I'm like, you had feelings for him before. Like, what made you all of a sudden hate the fact that you are kind of bonded in a way to this man? I don't know, that kind of, I didn't really understand the point, because I feel like they were trying to make her such like a strong female character, and she didn't need a man to complete her. But at the same time, like, was it really that bad? I mean, being bonded to another person, I mean, yes, that you depend on that person to either have your magic or save your life or something. Like, yeah, that's something very extreme. But the reason that made her mad was because she didn't want to feel like the relationship wasn't genuine. And I'm like, but you had feelings for him like, I just didn't understand that. That made me kind of It has its problems, but I don't think that anybody's gonna be like, oh my god, I hate this book, because I don't think that anybody, I mean, there's probably someone who could hate it, but it's not a type of book where you would hate it. It's just that if you've read a lot of YA, then you're kind of like, okay, another one of these, that type of book. But it's entertaining. I mean, you get a story that's a little bit different in the sense that, you know, it's set in the sea, and you get the different types of magic and all of that. So, like, in some way it is unique, but in some other ways it's just not. And if you're pretty new to YA, then I think that you would probably enjoy it, because if you haven't read a lot, then, you know, you're not used to the tropes, you're not used to the same type of thing. But if you are, then I'm just giving you a heads up of what you're going to probably encounter. I liked her writing. I did really like it. So that's why I'm saying that it is an enjoyable book. It's not that you're not going to enjoy it. It's just that it uses a lot of really overused topics. So it can get a little bit repetitive. Okay, so I'm going to start doing my face, finally. I'll come back to the eyes in a minute, but I need to do my face now. So another thing that I really liked, that I really enjoyed reading, is that it was like really random. It kind of came out of nowhere, but she discusses, I know this looks crazy, but trust, it will look good. She discusses quite a few topics that are not normally talked about in books. Like, for example, periods. I haven't read a lot of books, or right now I can't think of a book that talks about periods, and you wouldn't expect that to be like a thing in a pirate, mermaid, princess magic type of book. You wouldn't expect that to be talked about, but it is. And I like the way that she deals with the topic. Like, she's like, okay, you know, it's natural, whatever. And I feel like that's something that needs to be done more, because it's normal. We get it. It's nothing out of the ordinary, and I feel like sometimes we can be so ashamed for people to even know that we're on our period. And I'm like, it's the most normal thing ever. And I myself find that I get embarrassed if I have, you know, when I was at work or something and I had to go to the bathroom and I was on my period and I had to go, you know, and I was hiding my pads or tampons or anything because it felt like contraband. Like nobody could see me and know that I was on my period, you know? And it's such a dumb thing, and I knew it, but I couldn't stop it because that's just how we were raised, like how we were taught to kind of hide it, put it in your pockets or under your shirt or something. And here she kind of normalizes it, and I like that representation. There's also other topics like suicide with her dad at the end, and I really like the family dynamic, even though, okay, let me back up. Like her dad pushed her to limits that no dad should be pushing her daughter. But I feel like he did it in some way to kind of protect her, protect the kingdom and everything. It didn't make him a great person. I'm not saying that, because he did so many awful things, but like for her, like he loved her and she loved his dad, and I really liked the way that that was represented. So in some way I like that, but like I said, that doesn't make him a nice person. He was not great. I was reading a review and they talk about like sexual assault. It's hard, you know, it's hard to talk about, but I feel like she dealt with it in ways where I didn't feel pressured, like I was kind of thrown into it and without any expectation. I feel like she eased into these topics pretty well, and she discussed them in ways that I liked, you know. I did really enjoy those aspects of her writing. It's good. Like, it's good. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I didn't enjoy it. There were aspects of it that I didn't enjoy, but I did enjoy it. Okay, so I feel like there isn't much left that I want to say about this book. So, I mean, let's just finish the makeup. Okay, so now I'm gonna give some color back into this face with the Butter Bronzer and Deep Bronzer. Well, I don't know if I want to do a liner with this. Should we? Or should we just put on lashes? I feel like we shouldn't do liner. So, okay, I'm gonna just do lashes and we'll see how it looks. But I think I'm gonna throw in a little bit of this pencil in my waterline. So this is the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Liner in Electric. And let's see how it looks. I have the lashes, so now I'm gonna cut them a little bit. They fit my eye pretty well, but I'm just gonna snip off the tiniest bit out of the edge. Okay, so now I'm just gonna kind of bend them a little bit, just so that they kind of fit the eye a little bit better. Just bend them. It's gonna make applying them a lot easier. And then to apply them, I've been doing this for the last couple of times that I've done my makeup, and it has changed my lash game. Like, I used to struggle so much with putting lashes on, and ever since I started doing this, they go on so easily. First, I'm gonna apply some mascara. so that my lashes, like my real lashes, blend in with the falsies. And I'm gonna be using the Maybelline Lash Sensational. Okay, so now the trick that I've been doing is applying the lash glue directly onto my eye instead of the strip lash. Now we can apply the lash directly onto the eye. Okay, so lashes are finally on. I feel like they're very dramatic. Like way more dramatic than what I usually do. But I feel like this look needed some dramatic lashes. So now I think all that's left is lips, and I'm gonna keep it very neutral because I think this is enough. Oh, and we haven't done blush and highlight. Oh my god, I'm all over the place today. I'm sorry. So for lips, I'm gonna do Trap by Colourpop. That's like my go-to nude lipstick. So for blush, I'm gonna do my favorite. It's MAC's Painted Canyon. So I'm just gonna do, looks like this. It's a very peachy blush. So I think it's gonna look really good with this look. And I'm just using like a big fluffy brush. And for highlight, let's do something drugstore. I'm gonna take the Wet n Wild loose highlighting powder in I'm So Lit, and just gonna apply that to there we go. Look at that. So I think that we're finally done. This has been quite the adventure. So let me know if you enjoy this type of video. I wanted to do, let me get these bangs in their place and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's better, isn't it? I am really liking these bangs. I know that I'm gonna get tired of them really soon, but I'm liking it. And also, do you like the split dye hair? I don't know. I feel like it's different. I kind of like it. I think we're gonna wrap it up because I've been here for a long time and you guys probably have as well. So hopefully, right? But I hope you enjoyed this type of video. Let me know if it's something that you want to see more, because I don't know, I just came up with the idea. I mean, I don't know if it's been done before. If it's been done before, please let me know. I don't want to be like, oh my god, I just, you know, started this thing, because I don't know if somebody's ever done it, but I've never seen it. So I decided to do something different, you know, combine two worlds that I really love, the books and the makeup. So if you like this type of video, this type of reviews, or if you would just like regular reviews, then also let me know, because I really like this. I really love doing makeup and getting creative, and I feel like it's just something different, you know, it's not the same thing. So if you like it, or if you don't, also let me know. Click the like if you liked it. It helps me out a lot. and consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!